Do you think that he deserved the applause that he got? That's one. And number two, do you think Matt Harvey still has a foot in the door as a major league player?
Okay, so yeah, part one, yeah, like of course. I mean, I wasn't around back then, obviously, but what he gave them in 2015, a guy, specifically who went in, and had that story about the innings limit and whatnot, and then, he gave him his all. Like and this is a guy who made mistakes toward really throughout his entire tenure there for most of it. To a point on, he made mistakes, and he knows that. But I think, yeah, he still gave that team his all. He still pitched well. He was a big part of 2015. I definitely think, like, for me, if I were a Mets fan, like, you choose to remember the good times and you're empathetic for somebody's hardships, and then sympathetic maybe, to his hardships and the bad times. But I do think, yeah, he deserved that ovation. I mean, there's no way. I know he felt like he let the fans down, but I mean, he gave them a lot and gave them somebody to cling on to when that fan base was kind of starved for success. So I think he deserved it. And then part two, yeah, like if he can reinvent himself, I mean, look at what Bartolo Colon did. Like I was talking to Terry Collins the other day, and he was, saying, maybe Harvey saw what Bartolo did and found something there, because the hard thing with him after the thoracic outlet syndrome was just like, he was no longer that power pitcher. You can no longer overpower guys with 97, 98. When you're you're kind of fighting the need to change. I guess what I'm saying is once you accept the need to change, yeah, like there's probably still something in there. He can probably still pitch. And I mean, he's proved as much this season. Yeah, he didn't have a great outing last time out, but he's really a foot in the door for sure. Yeah, like, I mean, he's got a spot on the roster and has earned a spot in the rotation and has kept it. I definitely still think there's a place for him, especially if he can continue trying to reinvent his new self now, after being that power guy.
So we were talking about some of the new rules and maybe potential changes that they can make for pace of play and other stuff like that. Is there anything specific that maybe has flown under the radar that is something that you might think could be an improvement to get more fans or the right fans in order to get this solve an issue? Or do you think maybe there isn't this issue at all? If you love baseball, you love baseball, and that's what it is. So is there anything you would change within the game to make that work?
Yeah. Oh man. I feel like I've thought a lot about this. Nothing's coming to mind though. Better like pitch clock. I know they have one now, but like you got to speed these guys up. Like I know pitching is tough, but it's like you can definitely tell there's a change in the time of game when you've got guys who work quickly, as is. So I think that's one step. And then look, like you don't need to, like, the mound visits was a good thing. So that's like a good change. I mean, that they shaved him off. So, I mean, I think we're good there, but I don't know. I mean, I've heard like the ones about, starting the count at like 2 strikes or like 1 strike, whatever it may be, like doing like quick count, things like that. I don't know how that would work. Like it's tough because with baseball, it's like, for me, I don't want to take the integrity away from the game.
They already done that, Justin. They have already done that. I am sorry.
I guess my biggest thing would be like, if we really want to speed these things up, let's just make them 7 innings. And I think like some people would absolutely hate that, but I think there are others, like, I know like on those 7-inning double headers, once you get to like the 5th or the 6th or something, like it gets really exciting. And it's like, it feels like less of a drag than when 2 bad teams are playing a 9-inning game or something like that. So I think that would be a way to do it. I mean, I'd have to think about it a little more depending on how it was set up. But if somebody proposed 7-inning games, I mean, I would give it a lot of thought, because I think that's something that to me is like the only tangible way to speed up the game by that magnitude is to cut off a couple of the innings.
I've got an idea. You ready to hear my idea? Have a bunch of cheerleaders dancing on the field. That would make the game faster and actually have something to watch. A bunch of beautiful women dancing around, splashing water, shooting water at the fans. I think that would, if you want to change the game, bring beautiful women into the game. That would be fun. I mean, seriously, if you're going to change the game, you might as well put cheerleaders on the field.